Howdy folks, welcome to another beautiful day out here in Canada, in West Vancouver. Still cold, still wet, nothing's changed, but it is Friday, so we are very happy with that. Anyway, today I'm going to stick with the theme of immigration and about immigration and why and all of those things. And today I'm going to talk about one of the things that I think is better for South Africans in Canada than it is in the US. So in other words, why would a South African rather immigrate to Canada than to the US? And that is community. You know, the reality is that there's a lot of South Africans in Canada, especially out here in Vancouver. Literally, I mean, there's 4 South African stores that sell South African only goodies in Vancouver. That should give you some sort of indication of how many South Africans there are. So there's quite a big South African expat community. And you would ask, why does it matter? You know, the reality is that you move to this new country, you accept it as your new homeland, and you want to become a Canadian and you want to do all of that, but we are all human. We all kind of, you know, still have ties to South Africa. We also all still love South Africa, and we also still miss people from our own culture, and we miss that interaction. And especially if you're Afrikaans speaking, you know, sometimes you just want to speak some Afrikaans with other people. Sometimes you just want to hang out with people that you know, that understands your culture and understands where you come from and where, you know, your background. It is what it is. I mean, you can say whatever you want. People, you know, there's all these arguments, yes, you must embrace this, embrace that, and we do. But we still have our roots, you know, and you are still drawn to people with your roots. You're still connected to the tribe of people that has gone through the same thing of you. That's just the same thing as you. And that's just how humanity works. Every single one of us are like that if you really look down into it. So, you know, it's nice to be able to speak Afrikaans to other people. It's nice to be, we are here far away, 10 hours, we're literally on the other side of the earth, but 10 hours time zones away from there. So you don't get to speak to your other family and friends back in South Africa. And, you know, just connecting with people every now and again makes a difference. For us, it definitely does. I mean, we have these little get-togethers with a few other South Africans once in a month, or every 2 or 3 months we have a braai. And, you know, it's just great. It's just awesome. It's just a way to connect. As a matter of fact, we're actually having one on old Christmas Eve on the 24th. We are having a little get together at the house again. So if there are any other South Africans living around West Van and you're interested in joining us, give us a shout. Anyway, so back to the point. That's what I think makes Vancouver a very attractive thing, if that matters to you. Because the US, yes, there's also a lot of South Africans in the US, but the US is a very big, wide, sprawling country with people everywhere. So what we found when we were there, I mean, we ran into South Africans everywhere. We ran into guys from Durban out in the middle of in Valentine, Nebraska, in the middle of nowhere. So there's South Africans everywhere, but the concentration of South Africans are much smaller. You know, they're more widespread from what we found. Whereas here in Vancouver, I mean, you literally can't go walk around town without running into another South African. Every time you go to the store, there's somebody that you can hear the accent, or you can, and it's not like we like hug and embrace. It's just cool to be like, hey, how's it going? How long you been here? Yeah, I've been here so long. Awesome, man. See you again, and off you go, you know. It's just that little bit of a connection to your past, I guess. So yeah, I mean, just think about it. In the US, you have a population of 350, 360 million. So if there's 1 million South Africans there, it's 1 out of 360. If there's 1 million South Africans in Canada, it's 1 out of 36, because there's just, you know, smaller population, and it's also more concentrated around the south part of Canada. So anyway, I thought, you know, that's an interesting thing. And of course, like Belinda said, if you do move to Canada as a South African, there are just so many places to connect with other South Africans. You know, number one, all of the South African stores have like kind of knows where there are get-togethers and things. Hey, the other day there was a South African sokkie, which is a dance in Coquitlam, I think. So, you know, just go to the South African stores. There you can find out what the groups are that you can use to connect. Facebook, there's a lot of groups that you can, South Africans in Vancouver, South Africans living in Vancouver. I mean, there's a lot of resources to connect to other South Africans. Anyway, folks, that was it for today. You all must have an absolutely beautiful one. Cheers.